Have you ever wondered why some people seem completely unshaken no matter what life throws at them? Why nothing seems to disturb their peace while others get frustrated over the smallest things? What if I told you that this ability isn't something you're born with, but something you can learn, something you can master? Why some people are unbreakable. Look around and you'll notice something. The most powerful people in the world aren't the ones who talk the loudest or react the fastest. They're the ones who stay calm. The ones who seem untouched by negativity, unaffected by criticism, unmoved by the chaos around them. It's not that they don't feel emotions, they do. But they have learned one simple truth. Reacting gives away your power. The moment you show frustration, anger, or insecurity, you hand control over to the outside world. You let people, circumstances, and random events dictate your emotion. And when that happens, you're no longer in charge of yourself. Your emotions are being controlled like a puppet. The silent strength of emotional control. Now, think about the most composed person you know. Maybe it's a leader, a mentor, or someone you admire. What makes them different? It's their ability to remain still in the face of chaos. They don't explain themselves. They don't rush to defend. They don't break their own peace just to prove a point. And that's because they've mastered a psychological trick. The ability to act unbothered even when they are. Because here's the secret. The mind follows the body. If you act unaffected, your brain starts to believe it. If you carry yourself with calmness, your emotions adapt. And over time, this stops being an act. It becomes your reality. Why acting unbothered is a superpower. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. When your actions don't match your emotions, your brain works to bring them into alignment. That's why when you act confident, you become confident. When you act unfazed, you become unfazed. But the opposite is also true. The more you react, the weaker you become. The more you engage in pointless arguments, the more power you lose. Every time you let something disturb your peace, you reinforce the idea that the world has control over you. So starting today, you need to make a decision. Will you let the world dictate your emotions, or will you reclaim your power? What happens when you stop reacting? Imagine walking into a room where someone tries to insult you, but you don't react, you don't defend, you don't explain. You just smile and move forward. What happens next? At first, they may try harder to provoke you, but then something interesting happens. They lose interest. They see they have no power over you, and suddenly they stop trying, because that's how human psychology works. People only push buttons when they know they work. When you remove the reaction, you remove their control. And that's when you become powerful. Your first step toward unshakable confidence. From this moment forward, commit to this one mindset. Nothing outside of me controls me. I choose what affects me. I decide where my energy goes. Every time you feel the urge to react, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. Most people believe that emotions control them, that feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration are forces they have no choice but to obey. But this is an illusion. The truth is, emotions don't control you, your reaction to them does. The moment you understand this, you gain something most people never will: freedom. Think about the last time something upset you. Maybe someone said something hurtful. Maybe a situation didn't go your way. Now ask yourself, was it the event that disturbed you, or was it your reaction to it? Your mind is a powerful machine, constantly creating emotions based on how you interpret situations. If you believe an insult is an attack on your worth, you feel hurt. But if you see it as meaningless noise, it carries no weight. The strongest people don't lack emotions. They simply refuse to let them dictate their actions. They recognize that feelings are temporary, but decisions have lasting consequences. So instead of reacting instantly, they pause, they observe, they choose their response. And in that small gap between emotion and reaction, they reclaim their power. This is emotional mastery. When you stop letting emotions control you, everything changes. Stress no longer breaks you. People's opinions lose their grip on you. Unexpected challenges no longer shake your confidence. Because you are no longer a slave to your feelings, you are in control. Starting now, whenever an emotion rises within you, don't fight it, don't suppress it. Simply acknowledge it and then decide, is this worth my energy? The moment you start choosing your responses instead of reacting on impulse, you step into a level of power most people never reach, a power that makes you unshakable. Your mind believes what you tell it. Every thought, every reaction, every emotion you reinforce becomes a pattern. If you constantly react with frustration, your mind learns that frustration is your default state. If you let stress consume you, your brain adapts to see stress as normal. But here's the good news. You can rewire your mind. Resilience isn't about being emotionless. It's about conditioning your mind to stay steady no matter what happens. Psychologists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reprogram itself based on repeated experiences. And this is where real strength is built. Imagine two people facing the same problem. One crumbles under pressure, drowning in negativity. The other stays calm, assessing the situation without panic. The difference? Their mental conditioning. The first person has trained their brain to react emotionally. The second has trained their brain to remain steady. Which one do you think holds more power? Your mind is always listening to you. Every time you choose to stay calm instead of reacting, you teach it that you are in control. Every time you act unaffected, even when emotions try to take over, you train yourself to become stronger. And over time, something incredible happens. What once required effort becomes effortless. What started as acting unbothered turns into being unbothered. This is how resilience is built. Not overnight, not by force, but through consistent training. So from this moment forward, whenever something tries to shake you, remember, your mind believes what you feed it. Feed it strength, feed it control, feed it the belief that nothing can break you. Because once your mind adapts to this reality, the world loses its ability to shake you. Your mind follows your actions more than your feelings. This is why the most powerful psychological trick you can use is to act as if nothing bothers you, even when it does. Most people wait to feel confident before they act confidently. They wait to feel unbothered before they stop reacting. But that's not how the mind works. Action comes first, feelings follow. Think about a time when you forced yourself to smile, even when you didn't feel happy. What happened? Within moments, your mood started to shift. That's because your brain takes cues from your body. The same principle applies to emotional control. If you start behaving as if negativity doesn't affect you, your brain begins to believe it. Your emotions start aligning with your actions. Over time, this stops being an act. It becomes your natural state. This is not about pretending, it's about training your mind. When someone insults you, instead of reacting, pause. Stay silent. Let their words disappear into nothingness. Your lack of reaction sends a powerful message, not just to them, but to yourself. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, straighten your posture, slow your breathing, and handle it with composure. Even if frustration rises inside, don't let it control your actions. The more you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. At first, it might feel unnatural, but soon it becomes second nature. You'll wake up one day and realize that things that once triggered you no longer affect you. Because by acting unbothered, you become unbothered. And once you reach that point, nothing, not people, not circumstances, not even your own passing emotions can shake you. The world is full of people who will test your patience. Some will criticize you. Some will try to provoke a reaction. Others will attempt to make you feel small, insecure, or unworthy. But here's what most people don't realize. The moment you react, you lose. Why? Because when someone can trigger your emotions, they have power over you. The more you respond with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, the more control you hand over to them. This is exactly what they want. To see you affected, to see you disturbed, to feel like they can manipulate your state of mind. This is how emotional control works. It's not about who is right or wrong. It's about who stays in control. Have you ever noticed how certain people love to push buttons? They say things just to get a reaction. They test boundaries. They feed off of drama. Why? Because your reaction gives them validation. It proves that their words have weight. But the moment you stop reacting, something shifts. They lose interest, they get frustrated, they realize they have no power over you. And this is where true strength lies. Not in arguing, not in explaining, but in silence, in calmness, in showing without a single word that nothing they say or do can shake you. From now on, whenever someone tries to provoke you, remind yourself, their words mean nothing unless you give them meaning. Ignore them, not because you're weak, but because you refuse to hand over your power. Once you master this, the game changes. You no longer move through life reacting to every little thing. You move with control, confidence, and an unshakable presence. And when people realize they can't manipulate your emotions, they stop trying. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every comment needs a response. Not every situation requires your energy. Most people spend their lives reacting, absorbing negativity, engaging in meaningless battles, letting small things disturb their peace. But here's the truth. What you ignore loses power over you. Negativity is like fire. It only grows when you feed it. Every time you engage with toxic people, every time you dwell on criticism, every time you let frustration take over, you're adding fuel to the fire. But the moment you withdraw your energy, the fire dies. This is the power of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let external chaos control your inner state. It means you recognize that not everything is worth your reaction. Think about it. How many times have you lost sleep over someone's words? How many hours have you wasted replaying negative situations in your mind? And for what? Did it change anything, or did it just drain you? From this moment on, make a decision. Protect your energy. When negativity comes your way, step back, observe it, and then choose to let it go. Not because you're avoiding reality, but because you refuse to give your peace away so easily. This is how the strongest people operate. They don't engage in unnecessary battles. They don't waste energy on things that don't serve them. They stay focused, calm, and untouchable. And once you master this, you'll notice something powerful. Your silence becomes louder than words, and your indifference becomes your greatest strength. The difference between weak and strong people is one simple habit: the ability to pause before reacting. Most people operate on impulse. The moment something upsets them, they lash out. The second they feel disrespected, they argue. Without thinking, without control, they let emotions take over. But here's the truth. Your first reaction is usually the weakest one. Powerful people don't react, they respond. They create space between the trigger and their action. That space, the pause, is where real strength is built. Next time something provokes you, try this. Don't react immediately. Take a deep breath. Feel the emotion rising, but don't act on it. Just observe it. Let it pass through you like a wave. In that moment, you take back control. You are no longer a slave to impulse. You are in charge of your own emotions. This is what separates those who are easily manipulated from those who command respect. When you pause, you force people to wait. You make them uncertain. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how to control you, and that is power. The next time someone insults you, pause. The next time frustration rises, pause. The next time life tests you, pause. Because in that small moment of stillness, you make the decision that weak people never make. The decision to stay in control. Indifference is not weakness. It is one of the most powerful tools you can ever possess. Most people believe that showing emotions is a sign of strength, that expressing frustration, anger, or excitement somehow proves they are alive, engaged, and in control. But the truth is, the most powerful people are those who are often the most indifferent. Indifference is not about not caring. It's about choosing what you care about. It's about realizing that you have the ability to decide which emotions deserve your energy and which do not. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people can insult others, provoke them, and yet those people remain unfazed? They don't argue. They don't try to explain. They don't even look disturbed. They simply don't react. That is indifference at its finest. It's not about being cold or detached from the world. It's about choosing not to let petty things disturb your peace. It's about showing the world that you can't be manipulated by their words, actions, or opinions. The more you embrace indifference, the more untouchable you become. The more you stop engaging with trivial matters, the less power those matters have over you. It's not that you don't care about important things. It's that you refuse to waste energy on things that won't change your reality. So, every time something tries to pull you out of your calm, remind yourself, I am indifferent to what does not serve me. This doesn't mean you shut out the world. It means you stop allowing the world to control your emotions. You hold the power to decide how you feel, no one else. And when you embody this level of indifference, you start walking through life with an unshakable calm, an unspoken strength that no one can touch. Staying unbothered doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that you wake up with. It's something you build, one decision at a time. The mind is like a muscle. Just like you train your body to become stronger, you can train your mind